This is the 2018 Kia Stinger, a car that Kia believes is going to shape its future. A car that Kia believes is worthy of standing alongside such icons as the Audi A7, BMW 6 Series Gran Coupe, and Porsche Panamera. Like those vehicles, the Stinger is a 5-door premium grand touring hatchback. It's a neat little car. Kia's mission was to build a true 3 Series competitor, something that could stand up to the vehicle that controls the entry-level sedan market. For all intents and purposes, let's say that Kia succeeded in the sense that the Stinger is a more powerful, faster, roomier, and less expensive vehicle than a comparable 3 Series, or more accurately, a 4 Series Gran Coupe. We'll go back to that comparison. First, let me tell you what I think of the Kia Stinger, which may or may not earn its way on your shopping list. First and foremost, the Stinger is a good-looking car. I could do without these fake hood vents. That's something BMW would never do, but overall, I think they did a great job, especially from that rear 3/4 shot. This is definitely Kia's best-looking vehicle, and when you think about where Kia was just 10 years ago, they have improved their design language exponentially. Next, the Stinger has the goods under the hood. The base engine is a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo producing 255 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds. The vehicle we're driving here, which is the Stinger GT, has a 3.3-liter twin-turbo V6 engine producing 365 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds. Both are mated to an 8-speed Sportronic, available in standard rear-wheel drive or optional all-wheel drive. The interior is spacious and comfortable. It does not feel like a luxury car, but it does feel like an upgraded Optima interior, which is fair because they're using many of the same bits and pieces. I want to point out one little design element on the interior, which are these speaker covers. If you've been in a Porsche or a Mercedes, you've probably seen some really high-end sound systems, Burmester. I'm not really here to talk about the sound system, but just these little speaker covers. They copied the Germans on this one, and it works. I like these little premium elements. Still not quite enough to give it that luxury segment feel, but it's getting close. If you're going to put the GT emblem on a car, it better perform. And for the most part, the Stinger does. Top speed 167 miles per hour and 0 to 60 on the 3.3, 4.7 seconds. Both of those numbers beat the base Audi A7, base BMW 640i Gran Coupe, and the base Panamera. That's all good and fine. But the problem with this Stinger, where it really falls short, is on those twisty canyon roads. And that's what German cars are really known for. We've had this car twice on some pretty technical roads, the Angeles Crest Highway, and it just doesn't perform. The car has a lot of body roll. It's a heavy car, over 4,100 pounds, and it just doesn't have the chassis to compete with those cars, not even the 3 Series. BMW would have a much stiffer chassis on those kind of roads, and that's what those vehicles are made for. I actually think a better competitor for the Stinger is the Dodge Charger, and that's how I look at it. It's a more refined Dodge Charger. We're here at Angeles Crest Highway doing some canyon carving with a couple of Civic Type R's and BMW M2. We've since separated from them. This Stinger held up okay, but the weight of this car, over 4,000 pounds, combined with the chassis that's not as stiff as it could be, doesn't really lend itself to performing well in these conditions. A lot of body roll. We're in sport mode, so that's about as aggressive as we can get. It's a good car, it's a fun car, but just nature of its size and not so stiff chassis makes it a little challenging on these roads. So we've had to kind of tailor it back a little bit. It does great on freeway, straightaways. The Brembo brakes are okay, but again, because of the weight of the car, probably could use a little more brakes for this kind of driving. I will concede that for the most part, Kia built a nice car. However, it's not a BMW competitor for three main reasons. A, it lacks the chassis refinement and driving dynamics needed to go head-to-head with a 3 Series. Maybe the next gen, but not this one. B, it's not a luxury car. And let's be honest, for most BMW owners, it's as much about the ownership experience as it is about the driving experience. C, it doesn't have the pedigree of a BMW 3 Series, which has been in production longer than the Kia brand has been in existence. As stated, the more realistic cross-shop vehicle is the Dodge Charger. Starting price on a base 2-liter rear-wheel drive Stinger is $31,900, and it tops out at $49,200 for a rear-wheel drive V6. All-wheel drive adds $2,200. Kia has gone all in on the Stinger. In fact, one executive said, everything until now has been pre-Stinger, everything moving forward is post-Stinger. Pretty bold statement. I think Kia built a real nice car here, but they had the wrong mission. The mission should not have been to build a better 3 Series. It should have been to build a better competitor to the X3 or Jaguar F-Pace, because right now it's all about the crossover, and what the world needs is a more affordable crossover that could compete with those. I'm Ron Doran. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on The Driver's Seat.